we had an extraordinary man who came onto this film as a musical director called Rodney Crowell, who is a really amazing musician in his own right, and someone who has more respect and more appreciation and admiration for Hank Williams than anyone I've ever spoken to. And his instruction to me was to connect to the songs first and foremost as myself. So connect to the meaning and the sincerity of those words. What does it mean to say, I'm so lonesome I could cry? What does it mean to say in a song, why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart? The sincerity and the honesty of those lyrics was something I had to find within myself. And then Rodney and I did a lot of work on once we kind of had that, we did a lot of work on the music and modulating tone and vowel sounds and stuff. We had a hilarious time. I went to stay with him in Nashville for 6 weeks before we started shooting. He has a sound studio in the back of his house, just a little one. We just used to laugh because the tradition of English folk music is much more on the beat. It's much more kind of, he said, "Tommy boy, you sound like you're a choir boy in a marching band. We gotta loosen you up. You're singing the blues now." So it was really just trying to sit back on the beat and really sing the blues. And, get the 1-4-5 chord structure and sit back on it and swim through it. Like those great blues singers that Hank grew up listening to. And then I just did as much singing and playing as I could.
All right, let's go right there.
I wondered the Williams family, what their response or involvement in the film.
So the question, if we didn't hear in the back, is the Williams family response.
Well, it was terrifying. Make a movie and I just went down to Nashville and just got back from there and showed it to the Williams family. And I couldn't sit in the room because the tension was so palpable that I couldn't watch the movie with them. Not to mention that I'd seen it 7,000 times. And I walked around Nashville while it was going on, and when I came back, they were in various forms, all emotionally pretty raw, and they embraced me and told me that they loved it. And Holly, who is Hank Jr.'s daughter and a very talented musician herself, very grounded, said to me, "Well, Mark, we've got a pretty dysfunctional family." And I think that everybody, can't make everybody happy, but you treated everybody with respect. And they were very, very happy and very supportive, and wrote Tom and Lizzie notes telling them how happy they were with what they had seen portrayed.
Yeah, it was really gratifying to get that response from Holly. She's Hank's granddaughter, and she knows this stuff as well as anybody. And I thought to myself, if someone were playing my grandfather, I'd want them to do it right. And so for her, she wrote this extraordinary note to me last week. So it just gave me peace because I wanted to do right by his family and by him. And I also met Jet Williams is Bobby Jet's daughter. You see that scene on the pier, and Hank really, he did right by her. He was a real father in as much as he could be, providing for Jet and making sure that she had enough. She had, a house to live in and enough money. He left that behind in his will. And I met Jet on set, and she came. It was an extraordinary day. She came up to the set, and we sat there and talked for hours. It was haunting for me, actually. But everything about playing this man was a privilege, because he left an extraordinary legacy in American music. He inspired Bob Dylan, he inspired Bruce Springsteen, he inspired the Rolling Stones. And so to step into his shoes and live as him, as Hank Williams for a time, was one of the great joys of my working life.
Can I just things Holly said, and this speaks to about Elizabeth. Audrey is historically been thought of as a very difficult woman, and she was. Yes. But she's Holly and Hillary's grandmother. And Holly has a store in Nashville called Audrey's. So really sensitive to the way Audrey was portrayed and very, very, real about it. And when she talked to me, the thing that she said that Lizzie, without comparison to Lizzie, she said, it was just such a beautiful line that Lizzie walked. You could see that she could be difficult. You could see that her ambition, but at the same time, you completely understood her. And I think that's just such a tribute to the way that Lizzie was able to embody that role.